Hey guys, welcome back to Women's Football Talk, the YouTube channel that brings you all the latest news and stories from around the world of women's football. And the weekend's action has rounded up and it is all done and dusted. But before we get into talking about it, make sure you click that subscribe button because currently 95% of you aren't subscribed. Now, there wasn't much action here in England this weekend. We had the Conti Cup final and one league game in the WSL. And we'll start with Conti Cup final at Vicarage Road, and it was Chelsea that ran out 6-0 winners. And what a performance it was between Sam Kerr and Frank Kirby, who absolutely stole the show, the pair of them. Sam Kerr bagging a hat-trick whilst Frank Kirby scored 2 and got 4 assists as well, so it was an absolute dominant performance between the pair of them as Emma Hayes' side went on to lift the trophy. And the other goal was from Guru Wrighton, just dominated from minute 1 to the end and thoroughly deserved the victory, though Bristol City did put up a few chances, but Anna Catherine Berger in goal for Chelsea was always able to get on to them, and the Chelsea defence was very sturdy and looked hard to break down, so it's a great win there. The only bit of bad news that came out of that game was Mara Mialda towards the end of the game for Chelsea had to go off injured. We don't know the full extent of the injury, though she had to get stretchered off in the closing minutes of the game due to that injury, so we wish her a speedy recovery. Elsewhere, so like we said, there was the one WSL game today between Reading and Tottenham from the Majeski Stadium in what was a very entertaining 0-0 game between the two sides. A lot of the time they say that 0-0s aren't very entertaining, but both teams have had chances to win this game throughout it, and it was really one of them games you never knew who was going to win it, but the points were shared at the end, and I think both sides will be relatively happy with the outcome of that as we head into the next set of fixtures. Right, now we've had a full slate of games in Europe, as we've said over on the previous show. We'll start over in the Bundesliga in Germany. Eintracht Frankfurt and Meppen played out a 1-1 draw, with Laura Prasnica scoring for Frankfurt and Vivian Enderman scoring for Meppen. Duisburg lost 2-1 to Freiburg. Hannah Wilkinson scored the only goal for Duisburg, whilst Mia Bichele and Cora Zekai scored for Freiburg. Bayern Munich beat SGS Essen 3-0, with Leah Schule scoring a brace and Lena McGill penalty to get the game started, so it's a great win for Bayern as they continued their unbeaten run in the form this season, should I say. Hoffenheim beat Werder Bremen 2-0, Lena Hauschke own goal and Luana Bühler within the space of a couple of minutes each other handed Hoffenheim the win. Wolfsburg beat Leverkusen 2-0 for Adelina Rolfo and Katrin Hendrik with the goals as they keep up the pressure on Bayern Munich. There's still 5 points between the two sides. And Turbine Potsdam beat Sand 5-2 with Selina Serci scoring a brace, Nina Eggers, Johanna Elsig and Dina Oscherman scoring for Potsdam, whilst the Sand goal scorers were 2 own goals from Merle Bart and Johanna Elsig. And that is how the weekend finished in the Bundesliga, with Bayern Munich and Wolfsburg the top 2 sides. Now over in France this weekend, the big game that was meant to have happened between PSG and Lyon got called off on Saturday morning, I believe it was. I can't remember the full reasons, but I think it might be to have done some COVID tests. Elsewhere, on Friday, Paris FC beat Bordeaux 3-2. The goal scorers for Paris FC was Gaëtine Thini from the penalty spot, and then an Evelyn Viens brace late on in the second half, whilst Katia Snuish scored a brace for Bordeaux to close the gap from Paris FC to Bordeaux right down. So it's still very close between the two sides. Elsewhere, Montpellier beat Le Havre 4-1, with Iva Landenka, Sarah Puntmigan, Mary Fowler and Adelina Eggman scoring for Montpellier, whilst Berling-Björk Porvistverdier scored for Le Havre. Guingamp beat Issy 2-0, Louise Fleury and Sarah Chambeau with the goals for Guingamp. Dijon beat Fleury 91-3-1, Desiree Operazzoni, Ophelia Cognet and Leah Khalifi, both of them 2 goals coming later on in stoppage time, whilst Dominika Grabowski did open the scoring in the game after 34 minutes. However, they had to play the last 13 minutes, Fleury 91 with 10 players after Leah Legarek was sent off. In the Frauen Eredivisie, we've had a selection of games as well this weekend. the surprise of the weekend saw Zwolle beat Ajax 1-0 thanks to Marushka van Olsch goal. And then on Friday, we had PSV beat Excelsior Berendrecht 3-0. Joao Smits, Esme Burgers and Maxine Schnellenberg with the goals for PSV as they stay at the top of the table by a point over FC 20, who themselves beats Heerenveen 6-2. Benente Janssen and Renate Janssen. Renate scoring a brace, whilst Fenner Kalmer scored a second half hat-trick for 20, whilst Nicky van Dijk and Christine van der Westering scored for Heerenveen as 20 stay 1 point behind PSV and Heerenveen remain in 5th. Den Haag beat Alkmaar 4-1 with the goals Samia Hassini, Liz Rijben, Janat van Baalen and Yomi Ravensbergen scoring for Den Haag, while Sani Koopman scored for Alkmaar. And that was the full select of fixtures in the Eredivisie. And finally, over in Spain this weekend, we've had the full slate of games. So on Saturday, Levante and Real Betis drew 1-1. Deportivo beat Rayo Vallecano 3-0. Santa Teresa beat Espanyol 2-1. Madrid CFF beat Eibar 3-1. Athletic Club and Sporting Coahuila played out a 1-1 draw. Sociedad beat Granadilla Tenerife 2-1. Sevilla drew 0-0 with Logroño. The Madrid derby finished 1-0 to Real Madrid thanks to a Sofina Jakobsen goal in the second half. However, both teams finished with 10 players after Olga Carmona was sent off after 12 minutes for Real Madrid and Denia Castellanos was sent off for Atletico Madrid with 13 minutes to spare. And Barcelona continued their unbeaten run this season, beating Valencia 5-0 with Alexia Patala scoring, Asiat Oshola, Patricia Guajara and a Caroline Graham Hansen brace to keep them atop of the table with scoring 95 goals and only conceding 3 this season, which is a phenomenal rate. Once again, congratulations to Chelsea on winning the Conti Cup. Commiserations to Bristol City. However, their focus now will be to stay in the FAWSL this season with the games coming towards an end. We also, as I said on the show on Friday, we have midweek games to look forward to in the WSL, which I'm just going to go through now on my phone. So this week we have on Wednesday Everton versus Chelsea, West Ham versus Birmingham City, Bristol City versus Man City, Aston Villa versus Brighton, and then on Friday at 6:30 Arsenal versus Manchester United in the biggest game that we have this week, as Arsenal are trying to close the gap down to Manchester United to get that third and final place for the Champions League. So that should be a very interesting game to watch later on in this week. Until the end of the week, when we will have a look back at the WSL fixtures and have a look forward to the weekend's games. Like I said at the start, don't forget to subscribe, like and comment elsewhere. Follow us on Twitter at WFTalk2020 to make sure you never miss out on any news and stories from around the world of women's football. Until then, we'll see you soon.